Hello, friends. We're back now that 5 weeks have passed in the World Cup, and we're done with the round robin. Got us steaming into the semifinals and finals. I thought it'd be a good moment to touch base, kind of wrap up how the last 5 weeks have been in the round robin, what's worked well, what hasn't, the good, bad, the ugly, essentially. I have my friends here, Ram, Arpit. Welcome, gents. We'll kind of circle around, kind of spend 3 minutes on each topic. I'm going to
Right.
start with what's been good. Let's start with Ram.
Good. I think batting performances by the superstars have been great. That would be my one good.
Arpit, what about you? What's worked well for you? We seem to have some audio problem with Arpit. I'll go first then. What's worked well? It's been for me, batting of course has been good, but I think I've seen a good balance. There've been some close games. Even the bowlers have had some quite a bit of assistance depending on where you have. I heard and watched, of course, most of the games, and toss has been something that people have said. Yeah, if you win the toss, you bat first. And this, of course, the statistics goes to show the team that has batted first has won most of the games. But there has been enough for the batters and the bowlers. So as a fan watching, I think that it's been entertaining in the sense that, a team comes and puts up a 280, 290, 300, 320. And I don't think any of these teams chasing have been that far off. They've been a good close games. The bowlers have come well. They've had phases where they well. So the balance, which going into the tournament we were not sure about, we said it's going to be a high scoring tournament, really wasn't that way. So I think that's been a positive for me in a sense. Let's try it again. Can you hear us better?
Yeah, I can now. Can you guys?
Yes.
All right.
What's worked
Yeah.
well for you?
Yes. I think the good coming into the tournament and more of a not a surprise, but a pleasant surprise, if you will, is Australian Warner and Smith coming right back in and picking up from where they had left. Right. So I think it has worked wonders for the Australian team. And I like the fact that it's been a good balance between bat and ball.
I
Uh,
think the other thing, Ram, has been I think some of the teams that we didn't expect to do well, the likes of Bangladesh and even Afghanistan, kind of didn't win a game, but they said kind of shown things that they belong, right?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think the scoreline doesn't really reflect the intensity, the intent with which they have fought through their games, especially Bangladesh and Afghanistan. If you look at the games against India and Pakistan, they really should have won that with a little more experience and luck. So absolutely, I think it's been great. The format has been great. I know a lot of people say that the World Cup has gone on for too long, but honestly speaking, the round robin is a great format, and if anything, I would urge the ICC to take a look at the IPL, Final Four format, and not just have a straight-on knockout, but have like the eliminator and so on and so forth, so that if the number two team has a one team has a bad day in the semifinal, they don't just get knocked out.
Absolutely. That's the 3 minutes, gents. Let's move on to the next one. Let me start with Arpit here. What's been bad? What throughout the tournament?
I think the bad is again been expectations around people chasing down the scores. I think the expectation was no matter what the score is on the board, the team batting second would be able to chase it down or at least get closer. I think people or the teams have done more calculated chases here, if you will. Some of them have made the chase, some of them have not. I think most of them have not been able to chase a score in excess of 300, right? Only I think Bangladesh probably was able to do that. But other than that, a lot of the other good teams have not been able to chase high scores. So I don't know if the pitches are to blame for it or the mindset, but I think the teams have been in the mindset of just getting in the top four and not worrying about like chasing the score down. They just have been worried about just getting into the top four, and I think that's takes away some of the excitement from the games. Like if you talk about the India England game, I mean, if you had talked before the start of the tournament, if there's one game that India would have was okay with losing, we would have said England was fine, right? But having seen that game and watched it, I think all of us were not too happy with how India went about it.
Right.
Having said that, they still showed up. They're still the top team, right, in
Right.
the points table.
Right.
The other the other bad is the Pakistani performance. I think they were like at the peak and then they hit the bottom. So
Yeah.
I think Pakistan could have done had a more even performance. What is to blame? I don't know.
Ram, what about you?
Um,
You know,
Where's your mind at?
there's no no doubt for me. Bad, South Africa. Right? I mean, we needed a strong South Africa to really, build some spice into the top four slots, right? We know the top four are going to be the top four. I mean, everybody expected it, but we needed South Africa to make a real push for that fourth. The first time since readmission '92, I mean, they've really failed to put up a fight. We've seen some glimpses at the end, but it's sad. And I hope that they really sort of have the opportunity, take the opportunity to to make some serious structural change. I know they're losing a lot of players to English cricket, etc., etc. But they really need to figure out why this has happened.
Yeah, I'm with you. I was disappointed, of course, on how South Africa showed up, or in this case, didn't show up for most of the tournament. I think it affected the balance of the tournament a little bit. It affected how the tables have been. Of course, people will say the top four is finished where we expected, but not for me. I think it's been, and the other bad actually for me has been how horrible New Zealand have looked as the tournament has progressed. It's just not fun to watch. That's the 3 minutes, boys. So let's start with the ugly, and I'll go first. I mean, for me, it's in the beginning of the tournament, I was just really unhappy about how the weather was playing spoilsport to some of the games. I think that's, people will say it comes to the territory of playing in England where it could rain, 5 of the 7 days in the week. But that's just not, that's not good enough, right? And if you come to look at it now, some of the teams that, the qualifications, how the points got set up, really did get affected, by the rain. The other ugly for me is somebody jumped on South Africa earlier, and I couldn't get a point in, but it was just ugly. They almost didn't show up the first few games of the tournament. By the time they got better, it was too late. That's not good enough.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think what can we do with the weather, right? I think this was unexpected, but I would certainly say that if you look at the format, the only day where they're playing two games on the same day is a Saturday, right? All the other days there's just one game. I mean, at the very least, you could use Friday, Saturday, Sunday as reserve days for the games that get washed out
Okay.
because of weather. And I think the fans would be only too happy to how many of them they have the option to show up if they can, get a refund if they if they cannot, and I think the TV viewers would be more than happy to to watch those games.
Right, right. What about you, Arpit? Lots transpired in the tournament. What's kind of
yeah.
been ugly to watch?
So yeah, just talking about the teams. Sure. So talking about the teams, I think the ugliest thing for me was obviously South Africa's performance. I would categorize them as lower than bad. I think they should have been at least in the top 5 or top 6, if not the top 4. The other ugly performance I would say is West Indies. They came into the tournament with big hitters and in big goals and ambitions. Now, granted, they barely qualified for the tournament, but they had everything going for them going into the tournament, and they performed. The last but not least, the ugly part is the fan behavior at the Pakistan-Afghanistan game.
Yeah.
I think that is not good. That is not good for cricket as a whole. So I
Yeah.
think those would be my
I,
3
Yes,
ugly
there's
moments.
no place for that in any sport, right? I mean, those kind of behaviors at a professional tournament. And I think, if I could add to that, only in some of those India, Pakistan, Afghanistan games, we've seen these banners go out in front of the sort of in the sky on helicopters with messages like, save Kashmir or save people in Afghanistan. I am all for world peace. I'm all for people being treated well, but there's a time and a place for it, and I mean it not in a cricket tournament. Good discussion, guys. Here's I think we kind of helped to summarize the tournament a little good here. We will come back tomorrow with a preview of the sort of the semifinals, India versus New Zealand. That's on Tuesday, and then Australia versus England, which is on Thursday. So appreciate your time, guys. I'll reach out to you again, and we'll talk soon. Thank you.
Great chatting. Bye.
Thank you both. Bye.